What is up, YouTube? I wanted to make this video after my Lilo and Stitch review. So this is a official call out to Disney to stop making live actions. They're not doing anything. They're just costing you guys more money. If it's a tax write-off, cool. Hopefully it's worth it that you ruin characters. But yeah, it has done nothing for me, and I am tired of seeing it. These movies are not fun to watch. It is just a waste of time that we have to see our beloved characters get shoehorned or rewritten in a horrible way, that we have to sit here and keep watching them get butchered. I don't want that for my characters. I want these live actions to be fun, witty, have the magic that we had as kids. You know, it's sad that I can sit here and watch an old Disney trailer that, um, you know, that just did nothing. And when you do nothing, it does nothing for me, and it's not fun. And the more you waste time on making these, and if you're trying to keep the copyrights, cool. I don't care. Um, I just want good movies. And the more time I get put on these movies, I don't want to watch them. I only watched Lilo and Stitch because it did look good from the trailers, but that was a bamboozle on my part. I regret watching it, to be honest. The minute I watched it, again, after my review, it didn't do nothing for me. And, to waste a lot of money, effort, and waste people's, you know, I hate to say it, waste the actors' time on the movies. You know, you're uh, you're just you're just making these guys look bad. As much as I don't like Nani, I don't hate the actress that played her. I will never hate actors for what they play, unless it's something that they did personally. But I don't think the actress that played Nani had the great material to do anything. So her portrayal was probably just the way it was because of what she was given. No hatred towards her. I mean, if she was asked to change it on her own, kudos to her. I give her credit to actually change. But when it comes to, you know, whoever um, asked her to do what she did, I don't support that. You made a character that was actually lovable in the cartoons, hated. Um, Again, it's not the actress's fault. I blame Disney, because the more interviews I watch on the movie, it just seems that they wanted them to be different, and that's not what you want. You want your characters to be the same. You want people to go in and say, hey, you know what? This is what I want from my characters. Um, as we all have seen, if you keep up with the news, if not, I'll educate you all. Disney's Snow White didn't do anything. It is flopped at the box office hard. Um, I remember looking at a lot of press on it and seeing that it was just flagged for a lot, coming from the actress, coming from the directors, coming from a lot. So to change up what you did is not what you want. As to see, if you grew up watching Snow White. So to be that way, yeah, nobody's gonna watch your movie. I, I watched the old Snow White. I'm not a big fan of musicals. I'll say that for sure. Unless it's good, it has to be a good musical. But Snow White was not up there on my radar to go watch. I saw all the bad press. I saw all the bad reviews. I saw everything about it. And that one halted a lot of a lot. It stopped the Disney's live actions a lot, and to stop a lot of new movies coming out, that is something you don't want to see for your company. You want to see growth. You want to see an expansion. You want to see people actually willing to go see the movie. little girls and boys to look up to these movies and say, hey, you know what, Mom, I would really like to go see this if we can. Um, I have Cinemark app. I will always get updates. I will get uh, reviews. I will, look up to see what movie I want to see. And it's sad to see when Snow White had nothing. You look at the times, like heck, even rush time, like for like early afternoon movies, and nobody wants to see the movie. That's a problem in my eyes. You don't want that for your movies. Lilo and Stitch is gonna pop off because again, a lot of us grew up with them. But to change a story to now people have seen it, you're not gonna get a second week revenue. You're gonna get barely under maybe under 500,000, if that. If parents still want to take their kids, cool. You want to take your kids, cool. If they're just gonna zone out, by all means, zone out on it. But my problem lies with, you just did it for a quick cash grab. And that's a lot of what these companies are doing. Quick cash grabs. And you're going to ruin a lot of fan bases. I hate to say it. I love Marvel to death. Marvel fanboy till the day I die. Marvel has ruined a lot of their characters by doing this. And you don't want to see that. You want to see growth. You want to see people excited to go to the movies. The last time I was ever excited to go see a movie fully, honestly, was Avengers. That's the last very time I've been excited. Yeah, do I want to go see movies? Actually, no, scratch that. Spider-Man No Way Home. 2021 is 2025. I haven't been excited for a Marvel movie fully since Spider-Man No Way Home. That's sad. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine was good. I saw it a couple times in theaters, but to be fully excited, I really wasn't, because I was scared because, again, you hear rumors, the internet's going to flood you with rumors and tell you, hey, this movie may or may not have bad press, or this movie may not be the best. That scares you to not want to go see it. You don't want that for movies. You want the best of the best for it. And for it to turn down that way for, a lot of Disney's live action remakes, it's going to hurt. Because Aladdin was A-okay. The Lion King, A-okay. Beauty and the Beast, A-okay. That's 3 A-okays, okay? Let's keep that in mind. Mulan failed hard. You changed Mulan to be something that she wasn't supposed to be. So now you gotta live with that, okay? That flopped bad. That was the beginning of the pandemic. We can blame the pandemic for that, but that depends on who you ask. Okay. Let's see. Pinocchio. I really didn't watch that one either, so I can't give a yes or no that happened. But you changed it. I think there was a Winnie the Pooh live action adaptation. You tried to make an original story because you aged up Christopher? I can't remember his full name. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names in movies sometimes. It was cute. Wasn't the best, but, A-okay. I think they've made a live-action Peter Pan movie. Flopped hard because you changed a character again, or barely had Peter Pan in it, if I remember correctly. Snow White. You did too much on that one. I'm not going to comment anything on it. If you want to go look for it, there's a ton of reviews on why that movie flopped hard. And the only answer I will give on that, Rachel Zegler. So, present. We are now at Lilo and Stitch. Nothing about it besides the trailers. Nothing different, nothing new. You're just like, okay, maybe this one might be good. It looks pretty faithful. A little bit new scenes. Might be something worthwhile. No, you changed Lilo to be less of what she was. You changed Nani to not understand Ohana. She gives her up. That's a strike one. You took out Captain Gantu. A character that was beloved by all of us because he made it through the 2 or 3 movies and a TV show. You took him out for budgets? Yeah, Disney. Yeah, right. There's no way you don't have a budget on that. Strike 2. Strike 3. You made a guy that actually changed into a protagonist in your first movie, and you made him a really, really terrible villain, and then you gave him a terrible voice actor. That's strike 3. You done failed. You done messed it up. There's no magic in that movie. I watched the original. There was magic in the voices. There was magic in the art. There was magic in the set pieces. Magic in the story. I didn't feel any of that when watching this live action adaptation. Now, you could possibly say that live action doesn't translate well to, or from animation to live action. That's bull. Take a look at Marvel. They're going from a comic book that is goofy. They have, inhuman abilities. The physiques are out of this world. But yet, Chris Evans made Captain America. Robert Downey Jr. made Iron Man. Tobey Maguire back in 2002 made Spider-Man. Chris Hemsworth made Thor. Need I go on to say that these guys read a comic book and brought them to life, either by doing their own thing or understanding the source material to bring characters to life? Granted, has it fallen off lately? Yeah, this is, again, Disney's fault. Money hungry. Now you just wasted everyone's time watching Lilo and Stitch when I could just pull it up on my TV now and watch the original. And that's what I should have done. The minute I saw changes that were not meant to be made, you really done messed it up. You did that with Mulan. You did that with Aladdin. You did that with a lot of these movies that became live action. You can throw nostalgia at us and say this is what it is. Spider-Man No Way Home already did that. It's 2025. Come on. Give me something better. It's depressing, guys, to sit here every day and wonder, what is Disney trying to mess up now? It's even worse when, we see these other companies, the Winnie the Pooh horror movie. People are generally, excited to see how that universe is expanding more than Disney's live actions. And that's depressing because the budget on the horror movies for those were terrible. But that's how much Disney has let us down. It's not our fault for our expectations. You hyped us up back in the 2000s, back in the 1900s, to expect great things. You don't bring magic and wonder. What are we supposed to be excited for when going to see these movies? Nothing. I feel nothing with these movies. When I hear a live action come out from Disney, I honestly am tired of hearing it. I'm going to hold out my judgment for How to Train Your Dragon because that's DreamWorks. They've been knocking it out of the park with their animation movies. New or old. Same with Disney. Now, DreamWorks is going to take their first step into live action with How to Train Your Dragon. And from what I've seen from each and every trailer, it looks like they give a damn what we think. Disney should, but they don't. The last animation movie that I saw from DreamWorks was Puss in Boots, the movie. I think it was like The Last Wish or something. Stellar from beginning to end. Villain was menacing, made you fear him. Puss had to overcome being a selfish cat to wasting his lives all over to his last life. He realized, I need to live my life better. That is a character arc we want. And what have I seen from Disney? Nothing. Nothing that sparked my interest. Turning Red, a little girl that turns into a giant red panda. Not my interest. You want Elio or whatever's coming out? A bunch of bathroom jokes from a space movie? I'll save my money. When DreamWorks is putting out a movie that looks more faithful to from the cartoon to put to live action than what Disney just did with Lilo and Stitch. I hate to say it, Disney needs to stop. You're wasting people's money, you're wasting people's time, and you're killing old franchises that don't need to be even touched. At this point, I'm done with live actions. Video game adaptations, they can try their best. You know, a lot of story goes into a lot of these old games, so it's going to be hard to make it live action. But Disney honestly needs to stop. And it's sad to see our faithful characters become nothing. And, you know, for them to push an agenda or a message on us to say that this is what really needed to happen? No. Because as kids, we all loved what Disney did back in the day. Heck, they were pushing messages without us even wanting them to push messages. They were showing representation all over the place. I doubt anybody even remembers Brother Bear. Where's that live action adaptation? You know, you want to make adaptations and change characters for no reason. Why don't you look back at your archives and look at some of the movies you canned that would make great faithful adaptations? Actually, no, let's not do that, because they would ponder on us. They would destroy the story or the messages that were built around those movies. But that's just the way Disney is, and it's sad. It's a mega corporation that thinks just because they have IPs, they rule the world. And in all reality, they haven't done nothing with their IPs, and they've ruined so much of our beloved characters that we all loved. And I'm done. I'm done supporting Disney. The only thing I'm supporting is Marvel from Disney. Star Wars, I'm not even going to touch that subject. If you guys do want a video on that, I will talk about that in another video. I do have another video planned for one great thing that I've seen a lot in movies recently. That will be coming out either sometime Saturday, or it will come out next week. But I just don't know with Disney anymore. If you guys have any comments, don't be afraid to comment down below. Questions about anything, I am willing to answer. I read up a lot about these movies. I look up a lot of interviews. I get knowledge on a movie before I even go and see it. I am willing to answer any questions. If I'm wrong about something, do not be afraid to comment down below. Again, remember, no belittling. Let's keep it friendly. You know, educate me, not belittle. But thank you guys for listening in on my little rant about Disney needing to stop. I hope you do agree with this, because, again, that's your money too. I'm trying to save you guys on money. Let's just hope they actually take the lessons and do something with it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.